Okay, here we are. It is time. Spring is here, my friends. Spring is here. So we're going to overview the next cycle for you. This is going to be a very important video, especially if you're on the optimal evolution pathway here. This is going to break down all the main events and just all the main concepts and the different numbers of the program, the different elements of the program for the whole cycle, okay? So let's hop right into here. So this is year one still. We're in the rest year. Quarter two is the prep. So we just finished out the rest cycle. Now we're moving into the prep cycle, which is really related to strength and hypertrophy from a physical capacity, and from a more mental emotional capacity, it's related to fire, it's related to intention. This is the spring season, so new beginnings, just kind of really starting to open things up, still within the context of the rest year as this idea of capacity and just expanding your potential. Okay, so we're kind of like, just all these ingredients now coming together into the program as a whole. And so let's break all that down for you. All right, so up top we have the different phases, because each quarter breaks down into 4 different phases. So it's your rest phase, you've got a prep phase, you've got a build phase, you've got a peak phase. And then each one of the phases, besides the rest is 1 week, which is usually the break at the end of the cycle. But all the other phases are 4 weeks. So you've got a 12-week block with a 1 week break. And that is the prep cycle. That's the spring season. All right. So key things here. So obviously we'll be breaking down the programming week to week, but you can see just the main numbers for the week. And just as a general theme in this prep, it's going to be higher volume, higher density, lower intensity. So similar to what we've just got done doing with the rest, where the weights are going to be lower, it's still going to be a little bit more of a technique emphasis, but now the reps and the density and the pace of things is really going to ramp up. Okay, so still lower weights, but now a lot more reps, a lot more time under tension. All right, so we got the different numbers for all of those broken down, the different averages for the week. And then the main events now. So on April 12th, we've got our Force for Nature Spring Retreat. This is where we go out and we explore nature to explore more of ourselves. And what that looks like practically is we'll go out on some kind of nature walk or some kind of, mini vision quest and incorporate some different teachings and some different even shamanic practices, like being able to connect with different animals, being able to connect with different plants. And again, ultimately allowing that just to help you tap more into yourself and see yourself in nature can be very, very healing process. Even just, taking a few hours and really going through that process. So highly recommend to check that out. And by the way, all these events are in the community, in the event page. So you just go up there, see more details and RSVP. So we got that going on April 12th. And then our graduation ceremony, which this isn't up there, but we'll have the graduation ceremony for this previous quarter, everybody that went through the certification program, the level 1, and it'll also include last quarter since we didn't do that last quarter. So I have graduation ceremony. And then May 3rd is going to be our novelty test. So briefly, what the novelty test is going to look like is it's going to be essentially a random workout. So we're going to break up all these different variables, so different exercises, different parameters, reps and sets, and time under tension. So we're going to basically get a whole blend of all of these different variables, and then we're going to randomly pull things out. And it's just, you're not going to know till the day of. So even knowing this, you're going to see training for this reflected in the program, because we're going to be exposing you to a lot of different kinds of things. But just know that that's what is going to be looking forward to for the novelty test. And then we got 2 performance workshops. So those are essentially a blend of the lessons, like the teachings, with the music, with the story, the Force for Nature story, as well as, you know, approaching it in this ceremonial setting. So it's a performance in the sense that, you know, you're going to see this story acted out with music and, you know, kind of a choreographed experience. But it's also a workshop in the sense where there's going to be practical action items and tools and exercises for you to take home. So it's going to be a blend of all of that. So that's the performance workshop. We've got one of those. The first one going to be May 10th. The second one is going to be June 7th. And then the coordination test. So we'll have our coordination test. That's going to be on May 31st. And the coordination test is going to be essentially, you're going to have a tennis ball and you're going to stand like 10 feet away from the wall. And there's 3 levels. So you can stand and do the exercise, but essentially you're just going to be tossing the wall against the ball and then seeing how many catches you can get within 30 seconds. So there's 3 levels to do it at. So you can do level 1, which is just standing. You can do level 2, which will be seated on a Swiss ball. And then you do level 3, which would be kneeling on a Swiss ball. And again, same thing, 10 feet away, throwing the ball and catching it for as many times as you can get in 30 seconds. So the different levels, obviously level 1's the easiest, level 3 is the hardest, but each different level multiplies your score. So if you choose to do the harder level, then yeah, maybe you get less overall score, but you'll get a 2 or 3 times multiplier for your score. So you kind of get a little bit of strategy with that too, because, you know, are you going to be able to get a higher score, making things easier on yourself and just going for speed? Or are you going to be able to get a higher score with the multiplier, even though there may be a little less reps overall? Okay, so that's the idea of the coordination test. And this week, which is week 8, is also going to be enrollment week. So that's really where we kind of open things up to get ready for the summer cohort. Okay. And then lastly, really the peak of the peak, the culmination of this prep cycle is going to be the Spring Quest, which right now is named Treasure in the Forest. Okay. So there'll be a kind of a more detailed thing, but essentially a quest is certain tasks that you have to complete that are drawing upon the different life attributes and related to kind of where everything is at within our cycle and within the programming. So this quest specifically, there's going to be 3 tasks. So the first task is bench press as many reps as you can. So there'll be 3 different levels for that, different weights. And then tire flips as many times as you can within a minute. And there'll be 3 different levels for that. And again, the different levels will be multipliers. And then basically however many reps you get with whatever multiplier you have, that'll be the time, the amount of time in seconds that you will have for a head start on the second event. So this will all be done in the same day, but everybody will do the first task, and then, you know, it'll be a little bit more choreographed and organized as we go through it. And then the second task is, you know, we're going to be in a park setting. I don't know exactly where yet, but we're going to be in a park setting, and you're going to have to go and identify certain plants, native plants. You know, so you'll have a picture and a name. So you got to go identify these different plants within the park. And when you find the right ones, they will have a puzzle piece. And the puzzle piece, you have to find all the puzzle pieces with the different plants to put the puzzle together. That then opens up the third task. The third task is, you know, you put the puzzle pieces together and it's a map to where the treasure is. And then you have to go through the map and you've got to figure out the map, and there's likely going to be obstacles that you've got to go through to then find the treasure. Okay? So that's the Spring Quest. Obviously, that's, you know, that's kind of different, which is a good thing. And so this is our kind of first time going through all of this. So I'm excited to see what it turns out. But either way, we're going to have fun and we're going to get better in a lot of different ways. And so I think if you can blend those two together, it makes it even that much more powerful, because then you're being the best that you can be through the process of play, having fun. Okay, so that is the overview for the quarter. And then obviously that last week, week 13, we'll have the rest. And each of these weeks is also going to be a different theme. As like if you're going to do the Optimal Athlete program, each of these weeks is a different theme as far as a lesson and an element of the story. All right. So yeah, I mean, that's what I got to share with that. I know I just kind of ran through that one, but I don't know if you got anything to add there, Coach TJ.
No, I mean, we're just stepping away from the rest and into the spring, obviously, and feel the energy that comes along with that. Feel the shift. If you really are, as you begin to become more in tune with it, you'll be able to see and feel like that things are changing. And obviously the program's changing and there's some more things that are happening, and maybe in your personal life. Obviously, I'd say probably in your personal life. But either way, we'll step into it. We'll take a week off, and then we'll continue to move forward with grace and patience, and we'll be good to go. So have some fun, okay?
All right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Let's keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling.
Peace.